Well, welcome back to Streaming for Smaller Churches. I hope you enjoyed me taking you through a mix last time in Reaper, and apologies that it was yet another long episode. I have a sneaking suspicion this one's going to be one too. This time I'm going to be looking at Vinci Resolve. This is completely new to me. I'm quite used to video editing. I'm used to Final Cut Pro on a Mac. Others of you may be coming from iMovie on an iPad or Windows Movie Maker, so it's going to be various different levels, and I hope that we can explore together some of the quirks and unique things about DaVinci Resolve. A quick disclaimer, normally I'd edit video on an external hard disk for speed and ease. However, you need to be able to hear both my computer audio and my voice, and there's no good way of doing that without using my internal drive. It is an SSD, so that's going to help, but it's not going to be perfect. So apologies for that. Secondly, I think it's really important that before you even go into video editing, you have a little plan to know what you want to get out at the other end. A bit like a map. So I've done a little one. Here we go. I think you can see that. So I want 3 vertical videos side by side. I then want to have the lyrics at the bottom, and I'm going to be seeing how close I can get to this using DaVinci Resolve. So let's go into my Mac. As we enter the final part of this challenge and take a look at DaVinci Resolve, I just wanted to make sure that there was something to compare it to, for me more than anyone else. So here's Final Cut Pro, here's what I've been putting all of this together in. This is a different project that I'm hoping to release shortly, but it's very good at showing us the types of things that we need. So here we go. On the far left at the top we have projects. In this middle section here we have a media bin, and this contains all the video and audio for everything. If we come over to the right hand side, here is a nice sized preview window, and then down here we have the timeline. You can see all the different clips, videos, audio. Over here we have some audio meters, which within this type of project is really important. And then the other thing that I really use a lot is the inspector, which allows you to scale, to crop, to reposition items. So it's those types of things that I'm going to be looking for within Resolve. So this is it, we're about to open DaVinci Resolve. I have my folder with all the videos in. I have my audio file, so let's open it. And so here we are in Vinci Resolve. It took a little longer to load up that time because it was scanning some plugins that I have for audio that are made available. So it's sort of useful that if you do start buying audio plugins, you can use them across a wide range of applications. So I want to create a new project, and I'm going to call it Razor. Hey, there we go. So here we are in the main session of DaVinci Resolve, and right away I can see that I have what looks to be a preview window, and I have a media pool, which I guess is like the media bin, and I have a timeline, but it does seemingly look a bit compressed to what I'm used to in Final Cut. But I do have some audio meters there. And I can adjust the size there. I've got some basic tools. Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm feeling fairly confident. Right, let's see if I can find some project settings. It was in File. I want it. Yeah, it's defaulted at the resolution I wanted. I'm gonna very quickly change this to 1080p 30. We're not worried about any SDI. We're going to leave everything as default. We'll hit save there. Now let's see if it's just going to allow me to drag and drop. So here we are. Find it on Mac. On Windows you'll be using File Explorer. Let's see if I can drag things in. Would you like to change your... Don't change. Okay, well I think that is everything in. So we have my clip, we have Mikey's clip, we have Ben's clip. So let's see if I can drag this down. So if I drag it down to the timeline, it auto creates, and now I can scroll through it. It doesn't look the most intuitive here. It's a bit slow and clunky. Oh, very slow and clunky. Let's see what have we got down here. Okay. So there's a little toolbar at the bottom which shows a different view. Does this mean I can now expand? So I'm getting to see a waveform now. Okay, something is very off with that. So if I right click on a thing, I can see clip attributes. So let's maybe make them all 25 frames a second. Maybe we all made a mistake. Okay, let's change my project settings back down to 25. Let's see if that's happier. So I'm using a 2018 MacBook Air with 16 gig of RAM, and it's not handling this brilliantly. If I were to use Final Cut, I'd be able to chuck it in, and I probably would have been done or close to done now. Okay, let's see. Right, audio and video are playing back at different times. Something has gone very wrong here. So, for whatever reason, my Mac can't cope with both the screen record and editing. So, I'm just going to keep going and seeing if I can at least make it look right to show you, and then I'll edit it up in DaVinci and we'll post the final video. So dragging Razer Hallelujah on creates another audio clip, which is great. It's going to be nearly impossible to get it into place. But I think it'll be there. So really impossible to tell where we are with sync at the minute. So my next thing that I want to do is, if I select this video track and click Inspector, yes, it's showing me exactly what I want. Okay, so I've got some transforms, so I should be able to resize this. Excellent. Can I crop it? It looks like I can. So if I double click on cropping, it opens up a menu, which is a bit counterintuitive. Now I just want to see Mikey's mic and face. So if I come crop right, Yep, that's alright. Crop left. About there. We'll close that up. Do want to see if I can now, yes, position him centrally. Next, I'm gonna add me to this timeline. Right, so we've got another video. Oh, we're really not happy now. I am moving myself over to the left. If I can, there we go. So we are starting to see this come together again. Yeah, I think 0.75 is fine. Ben and I effectively bit players in this. The focus should be about Mikey. That is all good. Let's now really break this. Interesting. It's not letting me add this third video. There we go. So, again, we'll come into Inspector. We're going to take it to 0.75. We're going to open up the cropping. We're going to crop a lot of right out. Maybe a little bit of left. Close cropping. Oh, it's laggy. We're slowly going. Let's see if I can make it jump. Yes. Something like that. So this is what kind of we wanted. So we've got our 3 video parts in. We've got our main audio in. I'm now going to turn the screen record off so that I can sync this all together, and then I'll come back and we'll add lyrics using ProPresenter. So I have to be honest here, we've hit a bit of a snag. Even though my machine has been handling 4K for all the editing of this series so far, Vinci Resolve is a bit of a no-go. I'll let me pick this up. So, Vinci Resolve wasn't massively successful, and I think, having done a bit of a Google, I found why. Blackmagic doesn't publish a list of system requirements, but here we are. For minimum performance here, you need a CPU with 4 cores. Now, my MacBook Air only has 2 cores. For RAM, to do HD, you need 16 gig of RAM, so we're okay there. And actually, storage-wise, we're okay there too. Where I'm being let down is a bit in the CPU, but really it's this GPU. It needs dedicated graphics with either 4 gig or 8 gig RAM. Now, a MacBook Air has integrated graphics, so it's just not going to do it. If we look at for top performance, you need 20 gig graphics card, an 18 core and 64 gig RAM. Now that's just bonkers. That's not really going to be helpful for churches. So we have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Stay tuned.